Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Thursday, June 18th, 2020. Day full of headlines. Another one. The commissioner of the SEC, that's the Southeastern Conference, known for its college football, he said today that if Mississippi does not remove the Confederate flag from their state flag, there could be consequences in terms of the games that will be staged there. An interesting choice of words, staged. Right there with you couldn't have scripted it any better. We won't even get to the Tigers over the Tigers win to start the year of 2020, year of the Tigers symbolism, with the hometown LSU Tigers beating the Clemson Tigers with 42 points in NOLA, town with 42. Gematria, big sports fan, local rapper from that town, 5th Ward Weeby, had just died at 42 days from his birthday, right before the game. But anyway, they're not going to stage the games there unless they get that Confederate flag out of their state flag. And look at the flag's birthday for Mississippi. This is in Mississippi. Their flag's birthday is February 7th, 1894. And what's really interesting is from its birthday to today, the day of this news, it's the 133rd day of the flag's current age, which would be 126 if I can count right. So 133 days and big numbers in government rituals. Remember, words like government, president, White House, they all equal 133. Back in 2015 when Trump took the stage at the first Republican debate on Fox News, when he first spoke, they put up the stat on the screen that he was the 133rd richest man in the United States. And we said then, uh-oh, that's a big president, White House, government number. A lot of rituals with that number. So the man in the SEC calling on the state government to do something about the state flag, or there might not be, the big football revenue generating games. And football's 133. And remember, we saw this ritual in a big way the other year. Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota. Minnesota's 133. George Floyd, Minnesota. But that year, all 4 teams went into the playoffs 13-3. We saw it show up in Super Bowl 53 as well. The Patriots beat the Rams 13-3. LA equals 13. Tom Brady was 41 years old, the 13th prime. Super Bowl equals 41. NFL equals 13. And by the way, we had that Super Bowl pegged right on the money before the season even began, why it would be the Patriots over the Rams. 13 was a big part of it. So often is. But just 133 in football. It's come together in plenty of other rituals. Again, we document the rigging of sports news all the time. The sad thing is there's so much to keep up with. In 3 months, I probably won't even remember this story. So the next time I'm doing my 133 recall, I won't remember this example. Again, that's why it's good to journal it all down. If I take the time to go over my notes, I'll find it all. But, just speaking off the cuff, how much can you remember off the cuff? So who's responsible for all this? People are always like, well, how can all this be done? Well, let's think about it real logically. There's a secret society within the Catholic Church, the Jesuits. The Catholic Church gave us the calendar we're on. They're responsible for the English language as we know it. The script of English is credited to an English monk from 1,000 years ago. And again, English was standardized as the 26-letter alphabet we use today with the agreed-to spellings we use today. At the same time, the Gregorian calendar was established also by the Catholic Church. And it seems that since that time, they've been running things by this code. And with regards to this coming out of the SEC, it has that Gematria 54 and 18. It's coming on the 18th of the month. IHS is the logo of the Jesuit Order, or the Society of Jesus, Jesuit Order 54. Big number with him. The word sun, S-U-N, the 19th letter S, the 21st letter U, the 14th letter N, you add it up. Sun 54. Jesuit Order 54. The Catholic calendar that goes about the sun. The sun dictates time, where we are in the calendar. The cycles of the sun. S-U-N 54, Jesuit Order 54. A calendar synced up with the sun that's measured in the time of before Christ and after. They say the sun's 93 million miles away. God's sun equals 93. Nazareth 93. Crucifix 93. Right in the logo of the sun. Who's giving us information or controlling the information as we know it? The Jesuits are scientists as well. They're credited with many of these scientific discoveries we use today, the things we supposedly know today. But again, it's just ritual after ritual. Remember, Confederate equals 201, like the Jesuit order equals 201. Their founder is Ignatius of Loyola, whose name is 201. We have the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis. His birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, is 201. The George Perry Floyd thing has had a million other 201 related things to it, but it's resulted in the protests that have the Confederate and Civil War symbols being taken down at this moment in history, the shifting of an age. And remember, the George Floyd killing was synced with the Adama Traoré killing in Paris, France, the home of the Jesuits, and both men are being protested together in Paris, France, Adama Traoré and George Floyd. Adama Traoré was killed July 19th, 2016, which is the 201st day of the year in a leap year, which 2016 was. And from his killing to George Floyd's was a span of 201 weeks. And again, 201, the number of the Jesuits, founded in Paris, France, in the Catholic Church. They gave us the calendar, the language that's synced together, that's used ritualistically every single day. We're living through the biggest psyops of our lives. And again, it all started with Event 201, the coronavirus outbreak simulation that happened the same day the military World Games began in Wuhan, China. And the Jesuits are a military intelligence order. Again, all the 201s. The Jesuit order, Ignatius of Loyola, Jorge Mario Bergoglio. The list goes on. There's more to explain. And, again, you got this story of Lamar Ferguson, whose name equals 201. And his incident happened in 2014, supposedly from the Asian cop in the George Floyd video. 2014 was the year of Ferguson, Missouri, and Michael Brown. And notice, Michael Brown, 201. And Black Lives Matter equals 56 in the most pure cipher. Again, we've been talking about all these numbers with Black Lives Matter. Roman Catholicism is actually 173 and 259. But Society of Jesus, again, it's just the Catholic fingerprints are all over everything. Society of Jesus is the Jesuit order. They're the same thing. And yeah, those are the main points I wanted to make about this SEC story today. I've been talking about the Jesuits and their control, and especially in the world of collegiate sports. So, I mean, this just fits in with what I've been saying for years. But yeah, the Jesuits, because of everything going on, it's just so obvious that they are the tip of the spear. And by the way, this guy who gave the story today, Greg Sankey, his name equals 112, like how the Jesuits operate in 112 countries. Catholicism's 112. The Vatican established on February 11th, 11/2. His name, Greg Sankey, is also 158, like how the Jesuit, they were founded August 15th, 1534, before their official establishment, September 27th, 1540 in Rome. Founded in Paris, officially recognized in Rome, September 27, 1540. And state flag also equals 28. Today has 28 date numerology, thus the news about the state flag as well. So it's just amazing how coordinated and planned out it all is. But again, if you were planning to take over the world and you had, like, you know, all these occultists around you and, you know, just all sorts of specialists, it could easily be done. They built the calendar on a cycle system. At the end of the day, it's relatively simple mathematics to plan out these things. It's just mind-blowing when you're looking at it. So, and with computers, in the age of computers, it just makes things all the easier. And by the way, you guys, there's just even more 201s. Like Harriet Tubman is 201. And remember, just days before George Floyd died, supposedly with the counterfeit $20 bill, Mnuchin, the Skull and Bones guy who's the Treasury Secretary, he announced that they weren't going to debut the $20 artwork with the new Harriet Tubman face just like 3 days before the George Floyd killing. That was May 22nd. Then George Floyd killing on Memorial Day, May 25th, and the video viral on the 26th. But Harriet Tubman, 201, George Perry Floyd 201 with the counterfeit 20 instead of Harriet Tubman on the 20. And, yeah, there's more I could say about all these things. That movie about Harriet Tubman came out on the 60-date numerology, and there's a lot more to say. The Jesuit Order is 201 and 84. Illuminati is 150. The Bavarian Illuminati was created by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, who died on the 322nd day of the year, and they say Skull and Bones at Yale is an offshoot of the Bavarian Illuminati with their 322. But here, I want to show you this too. Unnamed Atlanta United player tests positive for COVID-19, aka coronavirus. Atlanta United. Let's not forget that's the home of the CDC. But you see the 142? You see it? We've been talking about 142 everywhere with sports. The golf tournament that just went down with Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods that was charity for coronavirus, it was titled The Match Champions for Charity, 142. Mickelson, 142. Mickelson also 70. Coronavirus, 142 and 70. And then Tiger won it. And I guess I didn't put it up here, but in Jewish Gematria, Tiger is 201. We've been talking about all the Tiger symbolism all year. You know, look at this Tiger Woods. I'll show you something. Watch this. When he was doing quarantine style, right here, this headline. Tiger Woods. ESPN.com. Tiger Woods enjoys Masters Champions dinner quarantine style. 201 in Jewish Gematria. Tiger 201. The year of the Tiger 2022. We were saying that months ago that all this Tiger symbolism was pointing to the year of the Tiger. And also maybe July 29th, International Tiger Day, which is a real thing. Dak Prescott's birthday. Remember his brother died with the draft. But we were saying, you know, watch out for those days, 2022. Harvard comes out weeks later and says that we'll be living with coronavirus through 2022. But yeah, just all sorts of 142. The NASCAR tournament resumed on May 21st. Which was the 142nd day of the year, May 21st, in a leap year. And then the NBA was suspended due to coronavirus on March 11th. The season began October 22nd. That was the 142nd day of the season. Now they've agreed to a return date, July 31st, 142 days after the league suspension. And I suspect there's probably at least 100 more stories out there in the world just like this with the world of sports, coronavirus 142. There's things we documented over in European sports and stuff as well. There's even more. So I only have one set of eyeballs, and I'm trying to write a book, so I'm missing a lot of things. But 142 is a major pattern in sports. And if you are following me on Patreon before everything was canceled, we were talking about how they were coding out all these riddles for the Kentucky Wildcats and the finals date. So we were really loving the Wildcats to be in the finals since pretty early in the season before they became one of the favorites, near the end of the season before it was suspended. And anyway, Kentucky Wildcats, what we caught before things were shut down is with all the 201 stuff, we said, wow, the Wildcats even have that 201 number that's everywhere right now. And then after they canceled the college basketball season, the NCAA came out and awarded the Kentucky Wildcats, the best basketball team of the year, even though they didn't have their tournament and championship. So, again, you guys, this stuff is just so scripted, from the stories to the actual games and outcomes. It's deep. This is occult magic, and how much real world influence it has, remains to be seen. But for people who are new here and doubt that, we've been doing it for years, calling what the sports outcomes will be from the news before it happens. Did it last year with why Virginia looked like the team to win the college basketball tournament. The days we called it out at the beginning of February, 59 and 85. Tournament was 59 days later, the championship, and Virginia wins the championship 59 days later with 85 points. Basketball equals 85. The name of their lieutenant governor equals 59 and 85. Big sick joke last year. Had everything to do with the 400-year anniversary of slavery in America. And again, that was August 20th, 2019. 400-year anniversary since slaves arrived on the shores of America. Big news all throughout that 2019 year. In February, Black History Month, with all the blackface in Virginia. All ritual. college sports, news, government, same thing today. It's the exact same thing. You know, the flag's 133 days. They bring football and government together. And for the reason people reject this information is because they feel that it's true and they don't want to admit it. Because they should just think like, okay, I've been sitting on the couch watching football games my whole life. What's going on in the commercials? Drink beer, buy a new truck, support the military. Drink beer, buy a new truck, support the military. You know, that's the commercial. They got the troops on the field. They're interviewing troops. They're showing, you know, American troops stationed all over the New World Order watching the football game. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, we must be living on different planets. All right, Truth Seeker, back to work. Grinding, getting it done. Good to go one page at a time, but yeah, just all the stuff they're feeding us, man, it's just like, I'm going to have to leave things out. Like, I'm like, do I even need to put this in the book? I feel like it should be in there, but God, it's already enough. All right, until next time, Truth Seeker.